All right, so my name is Rachael Monroe. I'm in Section 201, Group 6, and today I will be reviewing Zachary Scott's photos for Composition Part 1. The only requirement that Composition Part 1 had was to have 40 plus photos for full credit. And when I look at his photos, I saw that there was 40 photos exactly, 5 in each row. So he basically just met the requirement. He didn't go any extra, he didn't go below the standards. And so the first thing I looked at was just what did he post? And I saw that a lot of the photos were kind of repetitive, but they were slightly altered. So these skeleton photos, they were all kind of different, but they were basically the same photo of a skeleton. And the same with the people. It was different perspectives, but similar ideas. And when I have to decide on if he uses good composition in his photos, obviously it's hard to determine what is good composition. But we do have kind of a background to look at. And the one thing I want to look at is there any pattern, any symmetry, any texture, any depth of field, and line usage. Now, the first thing that I really liked when I looked through them were these train photos. He definitely uses lines, and you can see that from the 3 lines, it goes in perspective, and the train is centered. So this uses a good rule of thirds and line perspective for composition, and I think this is one of my favorite photos. Another photo that I really liked was a cemetery photo, because it uses good rule of thirds, has the tall monument centered in the middle, and then the smaller cemetery stone heads at the bottom lined up, and it goes tallest to smallest, so you kind of have something to look at. But I'm not sure. When I look at this photo, I think the first thing that I see is this tall one right here, which is good because it's directly in the center. And then our depth of field, obviously the train uses depth of field, and I think that this one is also kind of cool, just because it's centered, but you can see there's something drawing you towards the back, and it's the Star Wars line, and I think that's just really interesting. He also uses photos like guitars, and it's very focused right here. It's really clear, and then the bokeh effect is very faded back here, which I like, because it makes you think, okay, here is if you're using this as if you're broadcasting a brand or something that you want to show and say, hey, this is our guitars and they look really cool, this is a really nice idea. And then obviously you're not going to focus on their hands or what they're doing because there is no sound in photography, but you want to notice they're clear and nice aspects of the guitar. I also did like this first bird photography, just because it's kind of off-centered, and it's just interesting because you can tell that it's just in a field, but it's just, I don't know, it's just tall, and I think I really enjoy it. One thing that I did not like about a lot of the photos was that it wasn't very clear. You can see with these photos that obviously there is a bokeh effect, but when you look deeply into these photos, sorry, I zoomed in too much, it's still really very blurry, and that's something that I really didn't like too much. And then, so any photos that are the best, I did like that bird photo, and I liked this train and the cemetery. The other ones were pretty decent, but I found myself liking these photos the best. I also liked this gravestone right here, just because there is a light effect behind it, and it drags right here on top of the head of the cemetery stone. And I thought that was cool, and obviously you can tell that there is more cemetery stones around, but this is the one you're going to focus on, even though it is off-centered. Other than the blurriness, I don't think there's anything I would improve. I would just probably practice taking more photos. Unfortunately, a photo like this, I could tell that it's snowing just because there's blurs in it, but I would try and take photos that are more still and just don't have as much. I can tell that this was zoomed in, and I don't really like that it was zoomed in too much. I think that's what they should do to improve their photos, is to just practice on the clarity of the photos, the depth of perception, maybe some different colors. I would just color correct some of it. The general relationship of these photos are that I think that they're all kind of dark. Not dark as in scary or anything, but just that you can tell that a lot of the photos are dark. This is in a room that didn't have much lighting in it. They're just using lights that are it's not a skylight. I'm sorry, I can't think of the word. But I do like the photos. But this photo is, I think, a little bit too dark, but I think maybe if the photographer wanted it to be dark, it portrays, I don't know, a different message as instead of it being bright. All right, I think that's all I have to say for this photo. Thank you, Zachary Scott, for letting me use your photos. Have a good day.